Welcome to Guthli Talks presented by Miles SOBA.
You just have to slowly break the thing that's the chains that are holding you back. Just be yourself and talk, and people enjoy that the most. Even what would you like to see? And the thing is, you can't culturally translate. See, language is not enough.
Right.
I can't just simply take a Russian story and just put it in Hindi or Kannada or whatever. It's not going to work literally like that. You have to work on it because you're not changing a setting. The DOP is the god. Everybody became an ad filmmaker now because of the technology and all that. At least I tell my kids, we don't think about the future. We keep telling them, think about the future. Who cares? Just think about now. You please have your dreams and do your thing your way. I'm not going to advise you about anything. All I'm saying is that don't let people tell you what to do, which is exactly what I'm doing.
Welcome to Guthli Talks presented by Miles SOBA, your backstage pass to the creative circus of branding and advertising. I'm Preethi Rajaram, your host for today's episode. So today I'm joined with a super special guest.
Now better you read from the script. That was terrible.
This intro would be better.
Yeah.
This person, as a kid, I have seen you on the week that was
Oh God, yeah.
Right? I've seen all those parodies and all those mimicries that you've done, and his stand-up comedies, some super gold. He's like I won't say a comedian, I don't want to make it that
Big Boss
fake.
Also, for
Big
the
Boss
shame.
also,
For the shame.
yeah, Big Boss also for all the, like you said,
people,
shames.
you have to do things to survive. You have no idea how hard life is. Yes, carry on. Huh.
Yeah, so just extra information. Sir used to work at Big Boss set.
Oh my God. Mumbai, our? Telugu, Tamil. It's as bad, no? It's as bad, right? Yeah. Come on. It's just language changes, people don't.
We were discussing, should we mention Big Boss, should we not mention Big Boss? But now that you said it, okay, Big Boss also. So, sir, we're super, we had a competition, like me, that guy Rohit and another junior of ours, who's interviewing Cyrus, sir, and we finally put chits and all. Okay, Cyrus. We put chits and all, and thankfully I won it, and I'm here today. I'm your host.
I don't like boys. It's much better. That sounded creepy. I don't know why. Let me take that back. Maybe we should rehearse everything.
It's okay, it works.
I think it was a big mistake.
It works. Getting to my question, sir. My first question to you is, can you take us through your early days, like your initial days?
I can't remember Monday.
we call it our Guthli days. So can you take us through your Guthli days?
So the Guthli as in you're talking about more college, right?
College. Yeah, college, your youth, your 20s.
So school was horrible. I don't like uniforms. It's very hard for me. And you have to cut your hair and all these things that I don't like. College was much better. Firstly, I was in arts. I was in St. Xavier's where we're going to do the Guthli festival thingy.
Correct.
And when I entered that first day, there was like 80 girls and like 10 boys or something. So it was like paradise. You went home and told your parents, I'm going to fail. I want to fail. For the first time, you want to fail because that's the only way to succeed. So that was the best. I would say it was the best years of my life was college. I really loved college, where you guys are. Some of you are 33. Some of you are 19, 20. So not to give advice to anyone, but honestly, that's really the best phase. Just before the responsibilities start and the share market goes up and down and your life sucks. There's this period between maybe 16 to 20 to 23, which is great. Golden period.
Right.
Yeah. So I have good memories. I won't bore you with all of them. Most of them are erotic and horrible. But lots of interesting things. Most important is there's no worry about anybody else. You only think for yourself.
Right.
That's 6-7 years. That's selfish. Happy selfish, innocent selfish phase. It's not like mean selfish.
Right.
I think as you get older, you go back to mean selfish because you hate everyone around you and you want to think only about yourself. I might be ranting a lot from time to time. So why don't you just poke my shoulder to stop me? Just like Pavlovian, you just give the treatment and the animal stops.
We can use it as a ranting space too.
Okay, fair.
So, but you said you had a lot of fun and all, of course, college life, right? But wasn't that around the time when you you were into MTV Bakra, that show?
No, that came much later. I was in college, just doing college things. I used to audition, I did plays and stuff and all that, but I was going to be a lawyer. This is my dad's office, this is the lawyer's office, so that was the plan.
Okay.
But somewhere along the way, the plan changed because, I got into MTV, but that was that was in 1996. So by then I was 3 years out of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you what changed your mind, from wanting to be a lawyer?
No, it didn't happen like that. There's no plan. So what happened is that I entered GLC. Where we are 5 minutes away from GLC.
Okay.
Government Law College. Now there are many, you guys in Bangalore have the best college for law. But back in the day, in the 90s and all that, GLC was the father, the Lords, the Wimbledon of for lawyers. And so I joined in the 6 o'clock class post my graduation in Xavier's, the early morning batch. And I just slept. I used to take a Times of India from the earlier day, previous day, and I sit at the back and Times of India was a thick copy.
Right.
I'd keep it there and I'd put my head down and sleep. Many lawyers had that. That's how they became great lawyers.
Okay.
Harish Salve, Abad Ponda, all these greats from the past, all of them went through all this.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was doing that, and then since I was doing a lot of plays in English theatre, I joined Dacunyas, which is an advertising agency. It was 15 minutes away from GLC, 10 minutes at one point.
Okay.
And 9:15 you have to get there. This ended at 9, so it was perfect. I just go there and I was a copywriter,
Okay.
earning little money, like 1,300 rupees a month.
Okay.
Not even enough to put something in this mug of yours. And so while I was doing all that, and the plan was to complete GLC, while I'm doing, exploring this, copywriting and advertising was booming. And theatre in the evening, a little bit of, fun around creative people. Lots of advertising people were in it. So yeah, all that. Then randomly somebody came up to me in 1993.
Okay.
All this is in 1993. August 15th, they started FM. So a little after that, FM radio, I don't know if you're familiar with that. It was the first free radio we had, right? Outside AIR. So I got onto that. Somebody put me on a show called Polo Dial-In, 7 to 8 in the morning. Don't know who listens, but it was good fun. With like Nikhil Chinnapa's Select, but on audio. Okay. They would call up and ask for requests.
Right.
And we chat. I would chat more, but I don't really care about the music.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people were lonely and bored or had problems, and I had no idea this would play a part later.
Okay.
It was just passing time, but getting decent money. I think I was getting about 5-6 grand a month at that point, which remember 1993.
Just by like calling and all of that?
Yeah, just for this 1 hour show twice a week, which we used to do from AIR, Akashwani.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was FM, but we still had to use their studio initially.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was it. Then from there, I got a call, long story short, and I then auditioned first for Channel V, then for MTV, and then finally landed up in MTV, and then started working in the worst music channel in the world. Yeah.
So, but I feel like a large part of your personality is like, you being just unfiltered and unhinged. Like now, the way I gave the introduction, I'm like, girl, just don't be so like, script types, right? So, I think that's really important, in my opinion, to, be a public figure or something like that. Am I right or am I right?
I don't want to tell you what to do, firstly, ever.
Okay.
And not from a patronizing point of view. I just don't think, I remember being young and I can't bear people telling me what to do. So, we just give fake respect. That's why I keep telling, stop saying sir. Fake respect to older people because that's the way we're brought up. But they irritate you. Why can't you just tell the truth? So stop calling them sir and ma'am and all that. I think you really respect someone like, say, a Virat Kohli, if you like cricket, you say Virat sir, fine, great, Or there's some actor you like, or actress, or whatever, scientist. It's fair because they've earned your respect. But generally, I can't bear this. I spend the whole day telling people don't say sir. We're an egalitarian country. What is this sir? There's no up and down really. What's the big deal? And I've lost your question because I'm old. But I was there for some time. I was in the question and then I lost it. Yeah.
So my question was like, you're very unfiltered with the way you speak only, right? So first is like, what I wanted to ask what advice, but you said no need. Okay, leave the word advice, but how do I become like you?
Why do you want to become
like
me?
I don't want to become like you. How do I become like, okay, that came out wrong. I don't want to become like you, as in I don't want to become that.
What's it, transitioning? What is the word? Are we in trouble? Tell me if we're in trouble.
Basically I want to be unfiltered. How do I do
you are unfiltered. You just have to slowly break the thing that's the chains that are holding you back.
Right.
Like for example, this is my opinion. Please, it doesn't mean it's right ever. I don't think we should use all these. I mean, you want to have points to refer to because you're talking to someone about their subject.
Correct.
I totally understand that.
Correct.
Yes, I had to talk to a lady who's written mythology. So I need to have some information because I'm an idiot. So fair, you can have that. But I'm just thinking that just be yourself and talk, and people enjoy that the most. Even what would you like to see Preethi do if you were watching?
Right.
I'm thinking you'd like to see her being herself, right? And then you may like it or not like it.
Right.
So what's the point of just being a fraud like?
Right.
So what happens with television? We had this problem. They would always make us like talk about things that they want you to talk about or whatever. Especially when the subject is so inane. I mean, it's a bunch of musicians singing some stupid songs. You want to talk about the songs, that's fine. But beyond that, people took the subject was not serious enough. It's not astrophysics. It's not nuclear science. It's not a Gaza issue or Ukraine, Russia. It's just freaking some rich, spoiled, fat kids singing songs, Okay, maybe that's too much. Some of them are thin. I'm talking about the 90s, guys. Check out the 90s. Have you seen Boys to Men? Those guys have gone beyond men now. Really.
So, but were you never like afraid of getting into a controversy something?
I
Because talking about the week
we
that
have got
was
into
it-
controversies.
Yeah. So were you never? You were just like, okay, man, let me just say what I want. Let's see what happens.
Week that
But
wasn't.
didn't channel cut you off or something?
Channel didn't give us trouble ever, but the week that wasn't. You'd be surprised. The politicians also, for the most part, were very nice.
Okay.
We had a little trouble when Kapil Dev was one person who got angry, I know, and I'm a huge fan of Kapil Dev, the cricketer. But he has a way of talking, and his English and his Hindi is a little, here and there. I mean, it's much better now. So it made it a little fun, unnecessarily. So my dad got angry. Why are you attacking low-hanging fruit? It's Kapil Dev. Take on the governments and state governments, whatever. So that was one incident I remember because then Rajni called me up and said he's upset. So I apologized to that function. I went and said, sir, you're the biggest singer. He was very sweet. He said, this is my I'm a comedian. I said, comedy मुझे पसंद नहीं है, but that's the limit. Right. It was very sweet and I did feel a little bad. But coming to politics, you'd be surprised how many of them have given us good Abhay Javadekar from the BJP. And he's loved our show. He's even gone on record in Parliament to say that we don't mind what Cyrus Broacha does and Neetan Watson, but what Rahul Gandhi says is not funny, it's rude. Things like that. He used my name. I was like, wow. Of course, I'm not supporting the centre or anybody else, but sometimes this happens. So we have Chidambaram, met us at a function, 2611 tribute thing, but he was extremely nice and we had just released one interview of his, a fake cut-paste interview, and he was very good about it. Nitin Gadkari, big fan of the show, told Kunal in Marathi, my colleague, that I'm not that fat, why are you showing me that fat? But we had a twinkle in his eye, not like he was upset. Only I think there's one chief minister from a southern state I won't mention who got upset and they sent us that's a long story, and then we had a whole legal issue, but it got sorted out with something.
So basically sum that up, no matter what you did, I mean, it did not end up any worse. Maybe some people had any problems, so...
No, so I'm saying that we were always worried with certain people getting upset, but by and large the politicians were okay. Maybe it's because it was in English, it was not a mass show. We did it for 6 months in Hindi and we had to pull it out, where the psycho fans of the ministers and all will react much more.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons. But I think we tried to stick with issues and not be personal. Hopefully we didn't cross lines. Right. I think the satire on issues and all. I mean, if you're going to discuss presently in Bangalore where you come from, there's this video that went viral of this lady who got slapped by a rickshaw driver. Now let's be honest. Now we outsiders, we have terrible stories about the rickshaw drivers of worse than Mumbai, and Mumbai is bad. And I have shot Bakra on the streets of Bangalore, and I nearly got beaten up by 5 rickshaw drivers. Because of course we were doing really bad stuff, and I can't remember what the gag was, but this one guy went in, suddenly 4 or 5 people came in and I had to rush into the car and they had to frisk me off. So they seem to have a bit of a violent streak. Firstly, it's one thing that they refuse the customer, etc. Whatever. So I'm saying if we took that story, put it on our show, and then spoke about Bangalore state politics or municipal politics or whatever you want to call it, the subculture of the rickshaw driver in Bangalore, for and against or whatever. I mean, that's just the issue, right? We're not personalizing anything.
Correct.
So that's what we try to do with the show.
Wonderful, sir. Yeah. So I want
again, you're saying sir. Now I feel like I've become a school
Cyrus.
teacher. Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
It is good. It is better than sir.
Yeah?
Say it, how are you feeling? Yeah, I don't mind.
It, no. Okay, so I want to ask you, you said you got into, an agency, an advertising agency, and you were a copywriter for a bit.
Yeah.
What is advertising to you and how can you take me through that?
I had no idea. See, the thing is that we had a lot of these double advertising guys. I don't know if you know these names. Alec Padamsi, Keith Stevenson, Mohan Kapoor, Devan Khote. They're all, Bugs Bhargava Krishna. They're all people famous in our world of advertising and theatre.
Okay.
So I was just following them because I was already doing plays and I thought, they all kept telling me you're very creative, you should join advertising, you should, and lots of girls, to be honest. I was a young man, yeah. So you think advertising was, I come to one agency where there were no chicks. There was no chicks. It was horrible, yeah. My first day I was like, what? There was one lady who was a receptionist, she was 71 years old, but because they liked her so much, they weren't retiring her. I mean, she was very sweet. I won't take her name in case it's ever seen by anyone. I don't know where she is. It was very sweet, but that was it. I mean, I felt I was in a prison, man. It was unbelievable. And then I realized there's no work for copywriters. We just sit around and wait for the, I don't know if you've seen the Seinfeld episode where, George is waiting for the clock. He gets a job at the New York Yankees, but he does nothing. He just waits for the clock. He just keeps checking the clock, he sleeps. I was literally doing that. There were 2 books in the Kunyas, Henry Todd and the Rajputs, and the One Show. One Show, for those who don't know, or you must be knowing, One Show was this big book of all the famous advertising stuff across the world, mostly the West, and where we copied lots of our stuff.
Oh.
The Indians copied a lot of it. They won't admit it, but up to Piyush Pandey generation, a lot was copied. So I knew everything about Rajputs. I had to kill time. Or I'm reading Henry Todd on the Rajputs. You know, the prince is bathed by all the female relatives before the marriage.
Sorry, sir?
Now, the male prince, before he gets married, the female relatives bathe him. Come on, talk about what a bro. Check that out. I was Rajput from tomorrow. I'm in. Get my talwar. So yeah, so I I just kill time. The other thing is the first day they asked me to write on. I can't remember the product. Was it Seema light bulbs? I think Sridevi was the main model and iconic thing and all that. And I was full of, I was 21, 22 years old. I got into the thing and, I took out a pad and paper. We used to write with pen. I don't know, you guys ever seen this?
Yes.
It's called a pen. It's also what I get after marriage.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I wrote, I felt I was Shakespeare. I'm a very fast writer, not a good writer. So my hand swells up. Right. I wrote some 21 things. Different scenarios, copy, everything. This much. And I put it on the desk of the boss and I said, boss, you didn't even read it. I was heartbroken. I learned my first lesson. Don't work too much in advertising. Nobody's even bothered. Yeah. Because he just looked at it and he got demotivated. I won't look at this bad scribbling of some young kid full of himself. So the enthusiasm gets down very quickly. But good times. Lots of drinking. Lots of good food. Being the young kid there, you don't pay money. You're always excused. Everybody's nice to you. Girls are a little bit patronizing because they're older, some of them, and you look like a harmless. I was quite the baby face. I think I should have stayed like that. Women never took me seriously. I could do anything, say anything. It was all good. Now I'm like this uncle. So they're like, oh, that dirty uncle is coming, that villain from a B-grade Hindi film. So bad, yeah. How life changes. Genetics, very important. You got some good genetics. Yeah.
I don't even know what to ask next.
No, ask.
So, Guthli question. Girlfriends? Oh,
Hello, friends. I thought Big Boss was shame enough. You want to go back to Hello, friends.
So, how miserably did that fail? So, basically, Hello, friends, just tell me about Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. I was the only cast member who hadn't seen Friends. It was out on video and all, but it's not my kind of show. I didn't really want to watch it.
So for those of you who don't know, Hello Friends is the Indian remake of
which was made in 99. So Friends was still running.
Right. It was still 2004. Friends.
Yeah. So it was very much running, but I was one of the few guys who was not into it. Okay. So all the other 5 in the cast had seen it and had more understanding. So for what it's worth, they should be punished more. I had no clue. But the thing is, if you remember, South is a little better here than Mumbai. But the thing is that we tend to make these TV serials without there was no copyright issue, there was nothing, whatever. They just made it. And the thing is, you can't culturally translate. See, language is not enough.
Right.
I can't just simply take a Russian story and just put it in Hindi or Kannada or whatever. It's not going to work literally like that. You have to work on it because you're now changing a setting, subculture text, and it resonates with you in a certain way. You have to understand what, for example, David Schwimmer's character, what's it called? Ross. Right, the first episode, if I remember correctly, which we also shot, his wife wants to leave him because she falls in love with another woman. Now, back in 99, now it's woke and all that's another story. 99, that's funny, right? Because your wife's left you for a girl. We had to change it. Chinnappa was playing the character. So he's upset because his wife's leaving him for another boy. So I'm telling Ajit Pal, the director, but that's not funny. That's sad. That's really happened. Funny is that she left and she's changed her gender preference, right? I mean, that's the touch. Correct. That's the comic touch. He said, no, I'll say it in Hindi, apna parampara aur sanskriti mein nahi hai. We don't have all this in our culture and, tradition. We don't have this. But we can't do that because they've written something which it's got to resonate. We should be feeling the same thing that an American kid is feeling when he sees that. Exactly. The whole premise of that episode is that.
Right.
So we lost the episode there. Forget the bad acting, the terrible clothes and whatever. So the argument started then, but he was a nice guy, he was trying his best, he was whatever, but the whole idea was just translating and writing on the script on the spot and giving it to you, and some of the American lines don't work in Indian context.
So, but did that lead you to another super great opportunity or something like that? Or?
No, I was just doing it because they came and they wanted all the MTV guys to take part and all that, so we got... Honestly, I don't pay attention. I just do what I'm told to kill time. The Friday night was my drinking night, till then I have to just kill time. That's what I used to do.
Is it still your philosophy?
No, I stopped drinking in 2015. Another story, long story that. But just to end this, so I think I only did 8-9 episodes.
Okay.
Then I used MTV as an excuse. and said I can't come back and all that, because I realized it was very difficult to. I mean, he was a really nice guy, I'll give him that, but everybody was in different directions, you know. Now, if you've ever seen the American sitcoms, they sit on one table and they go through everything, and then and there you make your points or whatever. The writer is king. You can't mess with the writer.
Right.
The writer has this, he's written something, so his creatively, he knows where he's going with it. And that vision cannot be really, I mean, you 19, 20, 1920 bits you could put here and there, but generally it stays that way. If you just copy something, it's very difficult. You know, just an original piece of anything will work better.
Correct.
You know, because at least you'll say, I didn't like it, but it's not like, this is like absurd after some time to watch. Of course, we didn't get that kind of bad feedback then. I mean, it didn't really click or something, nobody said anything. But years later, when they revived it, what was in the pandemic, then only I'm answering. The other 5 ducked all the questions. I'm going to have to take the beating now for everyone. Yeah, that's what ours did. The moment you start, you put them on stage now, they start doing elocution with Englishy accents.
Yeah,
or if they do
they
Hindi
still do that.
poetry or Kannada poetry, they'll do it in a certain lilt, which is not the way they speak Kannada or Hindi or whatever language they speak. Why do we do that? I've never understood. You just stylize it. The whole thing becomes like, hello guys, welcome to the show. But I don't talk like that, you know, there's no need to talk like that. So I just thought that if I do that, then I'm stuck like that forever. If I just talk normally, you know, I don't have to think. Thinking is painful.
Right.
What do you want to think? I have a great story to tell you. I don't know, one of the legends of cinema, Rajiv Menon, you know, South cinema more, but also advertising in India. So I did a Cadbury ad in 1999-2000. And we shot one in Chennai, the one in Chennai. So we're shooting in Chennai, and he's really friendly. And he's talking to me really nicely and all that. And Ravi K. Chandran is the cameraman, the other legend. And Ravi is also super friendly and speaking in English with me and talking the way we are talking. You know, and I think we talk about history. I also like history a lot. So we discussed the Chola dynasty and how South is not represented properly. And he gave me a full lecture about how this North Indian bias in the books, which is absolutely true. You know, so it's all the North Indian kings and South Indian kings. Actually, Chola dynasty had conquered more area of the Asian subcontinent. Anyway, that aside. So having this very animated but friendly discussion, and then suddenly Ravi K. Chandran breaks into Tamil and he kicks one guy. This is 90s, 2000s, I mean 24 years ago. One of his assistants kicks him because he's on this trolley thing like that. And he, in chase, I mean, he abuses him, you know, but I can't even understand him. It's like, you know, everybody, all the models, everybody straightened up. The next shot was perfect. Until then, we were also relaxing. You know. Once he just, and he came back after in 1 second. He was like, when you come here, so Chola dynasty. Everything was, and then we all, my shot was perfect, my heart was beating. I was like, oh God, he kicked that guy, what's he going to do me?
Don't get ideas.
There's another generation, they don't do that anymore, bro. Now they can't do that. But that we were the last generation, I was a young part of it, where those guys, they were the alphas. The DOP is the god. I don't know if Piyush and all will talk about all this, but the DOP, it says anything, everybody freezes. Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps thinking of that incident. Every model, there were 30 of us on the set because there was wedding sangeet going on. Kya swaad hai zindagi mein, song playing in the background. And everybody was lackluster. One shout, one kick to somebody else. And everybody was superb after that. Suddenly I was playing a Chola dynasty. I knew every fact after that. I was listening to every word. Yeah. I'm not saying it's the way to go, but they had personality. You got to give them that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very different, right? Those days and nowadays, like ads itself, ads and the content,
It's a democracy.
creativity.
It's also, everybody became an ad filmmaker now because of the technology and all that. So I guess we were aspiring, these all, again in the small world of theatre, there were some names, in advertising there were some names, in ad films there were some names, in features there were some names, and we aspired to be them. Now everybody makes films, everybody makes ads, everybody makes everything. So I only want to go to the Raja Sabha now. I want to straight go to governance. That's the best thing. You see the posters when you travel in Mumbai?
Yeah.
The most beautiful looking men in the history of India. All those lovely male models who are all over being greeted on their posters by their fans, wishing happy birthday to MLA, MLC. Please, are you going to Andheri now? Please look, take photographs of these lovely men. And what, for me, this aesthetic genius. I mean, which tourist won't feel happy seeing our Indian politicians everywhere? You know, pictures of them. And the size of the face depends. I think this is also there in Karnataka, so I don't think this is a Maharashtra thing. The size of the face depends on the power of the position.
Yeah, it's there in
okay, the big face, less face,
yeah.
less face. And the dukan holder, you know, the small guy who's not even in politics, but he wanted to be featured. His small face is there, the corner of the poster.
Yeah, and it's only in the face, not in the neck.
And they're all made fair. This is not freaking thing that drives me nuts about the skin issue that we're never going to go over this complex of fair. Rubbish. You know, and one thing about Indian men, when you're not good looking, why do you want to show your picture all over? Why? I mean, can't we have like a tax about that? Like, boss, okay, you govern, take care, but don't show your face. You know, this whole Parda system is wrong. Sometimes you think about it, it should be for men. So some men are horrible to look at. Yeah, Preethi, be honest. You're walking, you just had breakfast, you're like, oh my god, yeah, no. This is horrible, really.
So I'm like working with four.
No, these are young boys, these are urban boys, they're different. I'm talking about a type, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying I don't want to say it because I'm working. I feel like
you won't find that much. This look is a lot different from that look, which I'm mentioning. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, we don't have time. I really want to talk more, but we don't have time.
All girls say that. I want to talk more, but you don't have time. Never call back. No Tinder, kuch nahi. So, boss, you can't call on the landline. The mother will pick up. You call 3 times. It'll be, yes, what is it? What are you going to say? Now I should. But then I couldn't. Then she really was a mother, and I was you, man. Yeah. Okay, you're that kind of kid. Study boy. Yeah.
So, coming to those 2-3 questions. You mentioned I mentioned advertising, and you mentioned Piyush Pandey sir and Pop sir.
Fabulous. See, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so them both, like, they have created like super iconic acts, right? They're like the gurus of Indian
It's not just what they created, it's the philosophy that they brought in. It was like, let's talk Indian. You know, and unless most westernized guy I know is me. So I'm saying this. But you can be westernized and still be Indian. The thing is that he found Indian voices. All we did was mimic those ads. Literally, like, hello friends. You just mimic, you can't mimic. Mimic is fine in your bedroom or something when you sing somebody's song or whatever. At the end, you have to find your voice. So Piyush found his voice, or rather found advertising's voice, by getting the lower middle class guy, the middle class guy to talk to you in his language sometimes, whatever that language is. If he's in Orissa, let's have him talk in Oriya. You know, I mean, that's the truth. So he had that, it's a genius quality, that he could identify with Pan India and sell the product depending on who the market is correctly, because there's a science to that, which we didn't bother about. In the old days, they were like, we're all Picasso, we'll paint something beautiful, we'll have someone with a very big voice, like an Amitabh Bachchan-like voice, say, oh, and today we've got Cornetto, the best ice cream in the whole world. Yeah. You know, which may work for one market, but what does it work for that brand? Correct. So that's his genius, which nobody did before him. So, and Pops and all these guys, let's give them all credit, yeah.
So, Guthli FS is really, the theme is to, celebrating the icons like Pops and Pandey, right? So,
Pandey to Piyush. Now see, this is a Sir category guy.
He definitely.
This is a Sir category guy. So now you want to see a Sir because he's earned respect, I accept it. 100%. Piyush Sir, ho gaya. But
now I feel called out for him.
No. I'm just saying. I'm not going to call you out. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
one minute to call me uncle also. What else is there now? After hello friends, the disgrace continues.
So one last question.
Yeah.
So now, Guthli at Fest, presented by Miles SOBA. We are all students of Miles SOBA, like I mentioned. How do you think it can, start like a ripple of changing the landscape of talent hunting?
I think why be that ambitious? Just go 1 meter at a time instead of looking at, changing landscapes and become Genghis Khan and take over the world. Maybe just, look at what's your next step?
Right.
Literally that, nothing more. I think we put too much pressure on ourselves. Wake up in the morning and think, okay, I'm going to be the greatest advertising guy ever. Why? Just get through that day and do your best, under the circumstances. You'll have good days, bad days, whatever. And then after a period of time, let's see what legacy you leave, if you do leave.
Right.
See, the way I see it, either you're like, Michael Phelps and you're the greatest athlete of all time, Usain Bolt, or what does it matter? If you're the guy who came 7th in the Olympics, well done and all that, but it doesn't really matter. So why put pressure? Most of us are never going to matter. Once you accept that with humility, put that aside, pressure's gone, and then we can carry on. I think we shouldn't, at least I tell my kids, we don't think about the future. We keep telling people, think about fuck the future. Who cares? Just think about now. Future will take care of itself. Now, when investments, financial investments, think of your future. Okay? Don't say this. Don't quote me. F the future. I'm wearing short pants. You can't be listening to me for financial advice. Yeah.
But I think Guthli can be like a first step. You said don't think about future and all, right? But Guthli can be a first step for me to, make it.
No, future. I mean like super future. Please think of your future. I mean, don't think 30 years ahead and all. No? I think that's just putting pressure on yourself because then you start thinking, where am I? Obviously, you have to have some goals and all, that's fine. Right. But don't listen to me. You've got all these big people to talk to them. Right. I'm good with dogs. You ask me questions on dogs.
I wish I could go on talking about dogs.
The moment I start talking about dogs, they say cut. There's anti-animal culture here. What's going on?
Sir, actually, if we had more time, like even 2-3 hours, if we could spare, we would have like gone on asking questions. But like,
Listen, I'm highly embarrassed. I've been called to. Shall I stop? To schools and colleges and all, and where I have to talk and all. It's very embarrassing to put yourself on a pedestal. Not like false modesty or something, but really, I don't think. I just feel that you have to achieve something seriously tangible also to some level before they do that. And it's very embarrassing. You go there and you start feeling like a fraud all the time. And so, this is like the worst thing. My mother used to send, in the old days before managers and all, they would call up my mom, and my mom would take the calls and they would say, give us some biodata on your son and all. So she gave things like, this is my mother, most mothers I suppose. He won the second place in potato race in first standard. He was in the Mikado, he was the second lead. And then the lady, I'm trying to be a comedian, on top of that. So the person who's presenting me is reading this out, and everybody's laughing. And then I come out looking like a complete idiot because it's not Roger Federer with like 8 Wimbledon titles. It's just an idiot who won potato race and did something here and something there. It's highly embarrassing. Yeah. So don't call me for any events. I'll anchor happily, but don't call me to act like some chief guest who's giving gyan and all that. I feel that's just. And I don't drink anymore, so I can't justify it later.
Thank you so much, Cyrus.
Formal handshake.
Yeah.
Corporate. I've got a job in sales. Give me the go ahead. Preethi, don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm already thinking about my lunch and other small things like that. My petty mind can't think long term and have high visions and all that. I'm not thinking about scaling Mount Everest. You please have your dreams and do your thing your way. I'm not going to advise you about anything. All I'm saying is that don't let people tell you what to do, which is exactly what I'm doing.
Thank you so much. Yep. Thank you so much for joining us at Guthli Talks today.
Do I get conveyance? In Mumbai lingo, that is, we get paid like normally $300 to come to the set. I think in South also we get. Yeah. So, no. Huh? It's called Bata. Am I getting it? Good answer. This is the best answer because I think because the bureaucratic system is the way to answer everything. Just ask him. Then he has to ask him. And then by the time I go to him, I just don't want it anymore. Done. Superb. I've learned my lesson. Never again.
Thank you so much.
Piyush Pandey.
Yeah, Piyush Pandey.
Sir.
If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with your fellow creatives. Stay tuned for more insights, more inspiration, and more behind-the-scenes magic in the world of branding and advertising. And always remember, every journey starts with a Guthli.